Dance, you can dance. What's going on, car guys and car gals? We're just dancing over here at DealerConnect 2025, and we are pumped up to have on the show. He's been on the show once before, and actually, I think maybe two. Did we get two interviews with you? I know we did an interview on the move.
I know one for sure.
But and that was at a
booth. Yeah, I think it was at a booth.
Yeah, we were at a booth.
I'm pretty sure it was NADA.
But we are at an entire new event, an inaugural event, the very first, history in the making, right here in beautiful Florida, inside of Florida, having some fun. Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, everybody. The one,
the only George Nenni.
Welcome to the party, brother.
Welcome to the party, brother. We appreciate you. We appreciate your knowledge, and we appreciate everything that you bring to the automotive industry. And you're really trying to help people, and you're helping dealers. You're even helping vendors out here get better at what they're doing, being able to be searchable, being able to figure out how to be more of a staple in the marketplace where people can find you and know how to find you. And that's awesome, man. And you're leading the way. You've written books. How many books have you written now?
3
books. That's phenomenal, man. And I love how you described him on stage yesterday. You're like, well, one's like a lot of like, it's like a playbook, right? Basically, if you have to study this one, it's like a study book, right? And I love that. But what's been your favorite out of 3 books that you've written?
The favorite is it's a small little handheld book called A Car Dealer's Guide to Digital Marketing, and I wrote it after I met like the 10th dealer principal or group owner that was super smart, knew Excel really well, knew financial statements. I mean, just like a really great business leader, super high IQ, just didn't know all the digital marketing terms and all the acronyms and definitions. And as we teach dealers, how it works and how digital marketing is actually really simple. It just has these complicated little acronyms and names to it. That the dealer then begins asking questions, asking for reports that we may not have, and then they have a seat at the table, and they can help us way more. And they finally say they understand that they demystify all the complexities, and they know the right questions to ask. So it's a short read. And it assumes you know nothing about digital marketing, nothing about automotive digital marketing.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of like the book for dummies, like back in the day. I remember, or Cliff Notes, right? Being able to get the little pieces. But I love that you talked about acronyms. And from that world going into the dealer world, because we talk about even from the dealer world to the customer world, like we say too many acronyms, F&I. We say things like, you got to get like all these little acronyms we talk about, UCI, used car inspection. They don't know what it is. But much like a dealer, the more that you complicate it, the more that they're going to be too embarrassed to tell you they don't know. So it's cool that you were able to find a way to give them a guide to get educated before they jumped into a conversation and be like, okay, at least I can go back and figure out what they were talking about. So that's awesome.
I mean, if you're an agency and the GM is no longer wanting to attend the meeting, I think you have to ask yourself, do they not see value in it anymore? Do they not understand it? Have I dumbed it down enough to them? And, I've got the slide deck I've presented to a number of agencies and providers over the year, which is titled How Not to Get Fired. And one of the first ones is just be transparent and don't be afraid to show them the campaigns that are failing. Like that dialogue awesome. Sounds like, hey, Fred, we ran your campaigns last month. We've got 10 different campaigns running. We've got 2 we're super concerned with. In fact, we've already paused those because we weren't happy with the results. You can see your cost per click went up like crazy. We pivoted those dollars over here. And to the dealer, they now trust it. It makes sense. When you go in, you say, hey, good news. Everything's killing it. Everything's you guys are, they know it's not the truth. And if they're having a slow month, they get really worried that the data or the person's disconnected from the results. And so I think you got, what we tell dealers is, if you're not experimenting, if you're not failing with some of your digital campaigns and you're not experimenting enough, and you should just fail fast, right?
That's a great point.
You just want to do, and a bad campaign will be bad usually like right out of the gates. It takes, some campaigns it'll take a while to get better, but you're going to know it's no good. And so I just think that builds more trust and educate also. If you educate your dealers about how it all works, then they're not just going to go sit through a presentation and say, hey, guess what? We're flipping to so-and-so because I saw a great presentation. Just sounds like us. If you show them your numbers, your cost per click, your cost per conversion, then when they sit through that demo, they know the questions to ask. They know they know their current metrics. They know the questions to ask, and they hear them, and they don't sound like their current metrics. So, maybe they still want to change, but not today because they have transparency around what they're doing.
Yes, that's genius. The more that they know, the easier it is for them to trust, because then they don't have to question or go back and double check, right? It makes it smoother. And that's the way we should be doing all our transactions, whether in sales, whether it's just giving people education, whatever it is, they should feel that way. I got to throw a quick shout out. You got somebody, Jake Harris, saying, boom, baby. And then Jake Harris did say, what is the name of the book? I'm sure he probably didn't hear it.
Yes, so it's easy as just go to Amazon and just type in George Nenni, just put my name in, and it'll show all the. There's just 3 books, and
yeah, check it out.
Buy the whole set.
They're photo guides, really. They're
Photo guides. He says, no, I don't.
Lots of pictures, lots of big screens.
Yeah, cartoons. You could even it's even color by number.
Comes with crayons.
It's all that kind of stuff. But no, that's awesome. Go check it out. Amazon. It's got 3 of them on there, but look for the one that's going to help you. It's the basic one. It was called the
Car Dealer's Guide to Digital Marketing.
That is it. That's simple. Car Dealer's Guide to Digital Marketing. Simple, and it's going to give you everything you need, all the basics to be able to take you to the next level. So go get that book. I appreciate
exactly
that,
why we're here.
Exactly. A quick story.
Yeah, please.
In the Uber yesterday, and I generally in an Uber, I'm working or on the phone or doing something, but this gentleman asked what I did and what business we were in, and turns out he's trying to build a website to promote his black limo service or his black car service, and what he just does a lot of mobility solutions for consumers. So he was
That's
super
so
curious.
awesome.
And so I go on to tell him that what I do, and when he heard that I had books on Amazon, he's like, "What are you thinking? Like, why would you share?" And I just basically said we share all of our techniques in these books, and if someone wanted to do it themselves, they certainly could learn it. He's like, "Aren't you worried like all your competitors, everybody else?" And it's just if you ever follow Gary Vaynerchuk, he's got a book called Jab 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 Right Hook, and really the message in that book is give, and then when someone needs someone they want to do business with, they're going to seek the expert, the person who's giving them all that knowledge, and even if I give all my competitors or anybody else who does what I do or all the dealers all the knowledge, no one's going to execute on it the same way that you guys would or we would.
It's true.
And so it's not about the knowledge; it's the execution.
Where did you? So true.
What you said there is so true, and it's that whole term. You can lead a horse to water, right? And it's the biggest fact. You should literally feel great about taking everyone to the water, because most won't drink that water. Most won't ever taste it. So they're scared to. It's because it takes work. It does take a little bit of a different type of person to make those things happen. So secrets should be out there. Like a lot of times Lou and I will be talking, and there's like times like, I want to drop some of our nuggets, and I'm like, I'm going to drop it because it doesn't matter. I think that we give it to them. It's something that they take. We're going to jab, right? And when we do that, they're going to really like find something from it. They learn how to jab, and that's good. And I want people to learn how to jab, but that right hook is going to be dangerous. Only so many people have a good right hook. And we got another. Jake Harris. I see Jason walking around here, but he says, "Thank you. I'm Car Guy Jake on all social media outlets. I do a lot of social media marketing, so I'm definitely picking up the book. Smart man. Reach out to George anytime. If you see that QR code that's right above Lou's head right now, that is a great place to get to his website if you want to learn more about his business too. So reach out, connect with them, learn. This guy is always on a stage. Okay,
kicked off this conference like pros and really got the energy going. So I love following what you guys do.
Well, we honor that, man. That means a lot.
You're always in my feed. I was in fact just giving my advice to the DealerConnect folks, just saying you should just hire these 2 guys to do all your marketing because they're just such masters.
Oh wow, that's way too kind.
Appreciate
that means a whole lot.
Awesome. Wow, but that's again why we appreciate you. Anytime we ever do get to see you, we do get a moment to say what's up, get some high fives, get some love out there. But brother, you're moving so fast, and ultimately taking the time for a new event to be out here discussing AI. Why is it something that you had on the high priority list that you had to make this happen?
I just think I'm here to learn, and we've said to our dealers there's been no time in the last maybe 8 to 10 years that you needed to get to a conference than today. I just think that the things are moving so quickly with AI in terms of vendors. I mean, really the assignment is to get to an expo or get demo some vendors and get a feel for some of this technology and what problems they're solving. I just think that there's a lot of our customers that go to shows or go to expos infrequently. I just think like today there's so much going on, and if you don't, then you got a competitor who's being aggressive and they're doing those things, and they're either reducing their expenses, they're improving their automation, or their SEO is now trouncing you. And so it's just it's something to pay attention to,
because they have questions out there. Get to a place where they're going to get answered, right? And get provoked for the right questions to ask.
And inspired, right? Man. You'll get inspired by people who are currently doing things that you're not, and you'll be surprised at how easy to just like George, they're willing to give you the information.
Yes.
I think you're the same way as any of us. When somebody wants it, that even if they go use it, I want them to, because I think that the more of us doing it, the more confident that the workspace is going to be in automotive in the world, really. So we all need to be doing the right thing. So I want people to know what the right things are. So yeah, it's good and it's awesome. Go to these events, learn something, but find out the ones you want to go to, pick them and go. but go there with intention, not just a party, because that's a good time too. Or maybe get together and play music together, which I'm doing next time with this guy. I've just had great conversation. But I love that. I love when people get together and do things, but you get inspired here, my friends. You get inspired.
And it's been fun so far. So George, what was one of your best takeaways out of last night's keynote from Joe?
That was a great keynote.
Yeah, I think. I always try to thank police officers and military enlistees, and I don't do it enough. And I just love that he started his whole thing off with that passion. His always putting kids first. I mean, that's something that we always do, but I probably not do enough. He was super reflective. I'm trying to think of some of my big messages. I mean, saying that, being a pro athlete is not a hero, but these other folks are, and that, it's just a God-given talent.
All right, we're back, my friends. We apologize for that. Of course, my internet's not the best here right now, so I do apologize for the disconnection. But yeah, if you guys didn't hear, we were talking about Joe, and Joe did a great job last night. He was talking about he's a great storyteller, and we heard some that related to just having stamina in life, related to like being hit in the face, breaking literally your leg, knowing that your dream of continually being a starting quarterback in a professional football league is not happening anymore. And yet you move on with grace and you move on and do bigger and better things. And, when he talked about his biggest thing outside of sports was his kids, and that to me, boom. And I'm not even going to get into the story. He talked about his family, but it was definitely moving. You felt emotions. That was probably my favorite part about it, is when he went into talking about his daughter and just the butterfly. That was,
and he was so transparent. He said, didn't always say I was not humble or I was arrogant, but he said I was on top of the world. And I wasn't.
I'll be the first one to tell you.
Yeah. And then, it all just kind of falls off.
It does, the humbleness of that all, but the reflection of it and continuing to still be out here sharing his story and being here at an automotive conference, which he has love for automotive, and he was part of the world for a little bit. He had automotive leasing, he said, back in the 70s, which I thought was really cool. But all in all, it was just a great first day. It's been a great second day. It's getting ready to wrap up here within the next half hour, I think. And everybody's going to be heading off, going to dinner, getting on a plane and all these types of things. But they're going to be leaving inspired for the next one. They're going to be leaving knowing that there's more to come, and that this next year of what's going to be happening in our digital world, especially to include what's happening with AI, is going to be a massive leap. Bigger than the last year, bigger than the last 3 years, I think. So we're going to see some really cool stuff. There's going to be a lot of great news. We know we're going to see George all over the place learning and getting educated himself so that he can constantly bring what the generation coming next is needing, right?
That's right.
That's right. Again, you guys see the QR code. Make sure you guys go check him out up there, guys.
Get you some of that. Well, car guys, car gals, we've been having some fun over here at DealerConnect, and it has been a great opportunity for us to be able to push the boundaries and to continue to learn. That's what we should be focused on. When we're not building the business, we got to learn how to build the business better and constantly refresh, constantly re-energize ourselves. And you always bring great energy. Yes. We're so glad to keep you excited. Keep listening to the brew. All of you continue to do so. Like, share, tag a car guy, tag a car gal, share. Get
this out there.
Them out there. And make sure that you do continue to drop those F-bombs, everybody. Let's go ahead and forgive, focus, fly, and finish
now,
this
the first
off.
time I didn't do it. I messed it up. Yeah, I had a really bad outing. So I'm going to try.
You've been practicing.
You've
been practicing. Yeah. So nail it. Let's do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly. And keep rowing. Rushed it.
Let's go. All right. Car guys and car gals, thank you so much for brewing with us at DealerConnect 2025. I am Lou Ramirez.
And I'm Fred Lenartz.
And you've been brewing solutions with the one,
the only,
George Nenni.